मंगलमय मंगल करण वीतराग विज्ञान नमो ताहि जाते भये अरिहंतादि महान करि मंगल करि हो महा ग्रंथ करन को काज जाते मिले समाज सब पावे निज पद राज। So welcome to the fourth semester. Today we are going to start our fourth semester, and in this fourth semester we have Moksha Marg Prakashak as paper 1, chapter 3 and 4. 1 and 2 we did in third semester, 3 and 4 now. Then in the fifth semester we will be having 6th and 8th chapter, and it will go on. Okay. So in this semester, third and fourth chapter we are going to cover. So we are on to page number 63. Exposition of miseries of mundane existence and bliss of liberation. Okay. So we studied Chedala, and there also we saw the descriptions of miseries in the all the four state of existence, right? So this has been the trait of our acharyas and scholars, first to show what you are suffering from, right? And then if you are able to realize that suffering, then you will be able to go further deep into understanding the nature of the soul. Because not understanding the nature of the soul is the chief cause of this transmigration. And if you want to come out of this cycle of birth and death, then you have to know yourself. You may not be having the knowledge of the whole geography, universe, history, science, technology, AI, all will do. But you have to know your own self nature, right? Just knowing the self nature will bring happiness in you. Okay. So to unlock that happiness which each soul is possessing, we have to know ourselves. Ourself means not this body. Okay. Ourself means the pure soul. That is our eternal existence. Although we have been transmigrating, but the soul as a whole does not change. It is the same soul who was in one sensed being. It is the same soul who was in two sense, three sense, four sense, five sense with mind. And it is the same soul who will get liberated. So the soul does not change. Its inherent nature does not change, right? What changes is the modification, right? So modification keeps on changing every moment, but the substance and the attributes remains unchanged all the time. Okay. Now you have to establish oneness with your pure soul, the substance, because from time immemorial we have been identified by our modification. We ourselves believe that I am the modification. If I am manifesting anger, I feel I am manifesting anger, right? So all these are disposition originated from external influence. These are not the manifestation that has been manifested because of our true nature, because our true nature is always pure. So it cannot manifest any alien disposition. So then this alien disposition is always there in the modification for a mundane existence. Yeah, that is true, but that is not the nature. First decision that we have to make, that these are existing in our modification, but this is not because of the true nature of the soul. This is because our active consciousness is bound outward. We are looking at happiness in the objects of the universe, whereas our happiness attribute lies in our pure soul. Okay, so if we transform our active consciousness from external objects and turn it inwards towards ourselves, then that would be a cause of happiness for each and every individual. So this transformation is what we need to do as a means of effort. Nothing else is in our hand. Only the efforts that we put in is in our hand. We have got a human life. We have got a choice. We have got a mind. We can take decisions. We can exercise our intelligence. Okay. All these we have got because of our past good deeds. Okay. So, so to this extent, we are here because of our past karma, punya karma, okay, meritorious karma. But now the challenge is to put in the right effort according to the Jinvani and transform this active consciousness from outside objects towards ourself. If we are able to do this, we will experience happiness, eternal bliss. This much is the path of liberation. Now we will see this Manglacharan of chapter 3, and there also Pandit Todarmalji also tries to explain the same thing. So nij bhav sada sukhad. Nij bhav. What is this nij bhav? Nij means own, bhav means disposition. What is this own disposition? So this own disposition is not actually the disposition. It is our inherent nature. So what is our inherent nature? Knowledge and bliss. Gyan, Anand. Okay. This is our true nature. Always unchangeable. Okay. Our nature never changes. Nature of each substance never changes. It remains so all the time. Okay. So nij bhav sada sukhad. So our inherent nature of knowledge and bliss is always blissful. Sada sukhad. Always. Never a moment you connect to yourself and you will experience happiness. Never a moment you connect yourself and you will experience sorrow, grief, pain, sadness. No, never. Because our inherent nature is full of happiness, tranquility, peace, infinite attributes. We are a mass of infinite attributes. So our endeavor would be to put in our all efforts, energy, time, whatever we have in understanding the concept that is there in the Jinvani, and by understanding those concepts and applying in our day-to-day life, we will be able to bend our active consciousness from outside world towards ourself. This is the effort that we precisely need to put in, and rest is all going to happen automatically. So in terms of effort, you have three things to do to transform this active consciousness from outside to ourself. Only three steps. What are the three steps, Himali? Amitaji, you try.
Read the scripture. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Come again.
Read the scriptures, contemplate on them, and then make a decision.
Yes, very good. Very precise. Very good. So if I ask you 4 or 5 times, you will always remember, right? And I keep on repeating because there is nothing other thing that we need to do apart from this. And to understand this, we are just studying all the scriptures. Okay. So Nij Bhav Sada Sukhad. Apno Karo Prakash. Apno Karo Prakash. Apno means again, Apno means self. right? So you manifest that. You take shelter in that and you manifest that happiness. Apno karo prakash. So that happiness, you just realize the happiness that you just manifest. Okay. Jo bahuvidhi bhav dukhniko. Okay. If you are able to do that, if you are taking the shelter of your pure soul, okay, which is always blissful and knowledge, and you are able to emit the light of self, then what it will do? It will destroy, okay? It will destroy the existence of different forms of miseries of mundane existence. So that sadness, that grief, that pain, that will be totally eliminated if you are able to take shelter in yourself. Okay. Jo bahuvdi bhav dukhiniko, which is a cause of infinite miseries in this mundane existence. Kariye sattanas, completely wiped it out. No existence, no existence of sorrow. Okay. So this is what going to happen if you learn this practice, if you learn this trick of taking shelter in yourself. Taking shelter in yourself means transforming the active consciousness which is outbound towards ourself. This much force you need to exercise. So where this force will come from? Any answer? Good answer. So all should keep video on, so I could see your face and connect. I can see only two faces. So uh, every time I don't uh, click the participants list. So even you will be able to connect better if you keep your videos on. So anybody would like to try? Yeah, Malti ji. So what was the question, Hemali?
So you asked that where do you get the strength from to,
Yes, good,
um,
good.
so from the decision making, right, that you make.
Right, right. Very good. Pratibha ji, where you get the strength from? How do you develop that strength? It is not that that strength is existing. This is
From
what.
the meditation and from also from your inner soul, if you meditate on yourself.
Hmm. Okay, that means you want to say that you connect to your soul. Okay, you focus on your soul and strength will develop. Okay, taken. Anyone else? Soumya, what you would say? You are on.
Yes, sir. That
Uh,
energy,
hmm,
that strength is within us, within each soul. But to take shelter or to take help from that strength, we need to have some decision. So
yes.
when once a decision is taken, then the strength will automatically help us to engage.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Amita ji.
Devguru Shastra.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
So one more thing I wanted to add. This is something that I had written in my CC1 paper. So
Hmm.
once I was interviewing Rakesh Bhai and I was making notes,
Hmm.
I was doing a story on how, these doctors are giving up their life, I mean, giving up their profession to join him.
Hmm.
And I asked him this question, and he immediately held out a bar of chocolate to me.
Hmm.
And he said, Iske liye. Matlab, he said in Gujarati, ane mate. So
Hmm.
I said, for the chocolate? So he said, no. And I immediately put my pen down and I took the chocolate from his hand. And he said that when I show them something higher, then they realize that the current existence is very low. So
Hmm.
when you read these scriptures, you also realize that, there is a higher state that you can reach. And, that's also from where that strength will come, that, you'll realize the ultimate truth.
So to realize the ultimate truth, you have to get some facts, then analyze on that, then make a decision on that. Okay, that is how. So whatever principles we are learning in this course are all going to help us in developing that strength. That strength will transform the active consciousness which is engaged in the outside objects to transform and be inbound. Okay, so that strength will come when we apply these principles in our day-to-day life and solve our problem. Okay, now supposing your kid has broken a glass, right? So what first thing you would do? Normally, you will scold him. જોઈને નથી કરતો, right? But when you realize the importance of the independent nature of each substance, each attributes and each modification, not only in as a part of knowledge, but practically when you put that independence, then you realize that, oh, he is not the doer. The time has come for that glass to break, to disintegrate, to come, to go out of use, and he's just an instrumental cause. So based on this, you will not manifest anger. Now this is the journey that all the principles that we learn here are going to bring in our knowledge gambit, right? And when our knowledge is upgraded, okay, earlier any mother would scold his children. In spite of knowing that the fault is not his, they will still scold, right? But when you realize these things and when you realize the independent nature and you said, beta, no problem, it happens, it also happens with me. You just imagine you are also not manifesting anger. At the same time, he is also feeling so relaxed. Otherwise, when something goes wrong, the kids gets fear, fear. They get into tension. So you see, it's working well for both of you, right? And the whole atmosphere in the home also remains very calm. Everyone realizes that, see, such things happen and mom was so cool. So they may not express it, but internally they also feel very relaxed. So this is the transformation. This is the strength that we can develop by understanding these principles. Okay. Hope we are all aligned with this principle. Yeah. So we move forward. So Nij Bhav Sada Sukhad. So our inherent nature is always blissful. We have to just take shelter into it. And once we take shelter into it, the happiness flows because our soul is full of infinite attributes. Not a single blemish is there in the soul as an attribute. Okay. And out of these attributes, one very good fact, 99.9999% of the attributes are manifesting 100% pure. Only very handful, 21 attributes to name it. We have only 21 attributes which are manifesting oppositely. Okay. So they have the tendency to manifest in the right manner also and in the wrong manner also. So those 21 attributes are manifesting in the wrong manner, and that is why we are transmigrating in this universe. Out of this 21, three are main: right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Out of these three, only one is main, and that is the belief. So once the belief changes, right, the knowledge also becomes right. The conduct also becomes right. And these three are the three jewels in the path of liberation. Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna. We did Bara Bhavna very recently. You must all remember, right? So this Bodhi is what we are looking at. Okay. And this Bodhi is going to bring happiness in our life. And that is going to come by taking shelter in our inherent nature. So one principle we can establish, we are independent to manifest this bodhi. No karma can stop us. No external force can stop us from connecting to ourself. Even if you have a nuclear bomb in your hand and if you attack me with nuclear bomb, still that nuclear bomb cannot stop me to connect to myself. Now imagine if you are flying through that aircraft which recently crashed in Ahmedabad, right? If you are one of them and the pilot has said that it's all danger, it's out of control, you have very few seconds to, take action, although you are not able to take any action in those few moments. But at that time, what you will do? Connect to ourselves. That is what the monks do when they are undergoing some cruel torture, upsarg, upsarg. What they do? They take shelter in our soul. When the kids are fearful, what they do? They come into the lap of mom because they know this is the only shelter. I am safe here. Similarly, our active consciousness takes shelter in pure soul when there is an external something adverse situations. So at that time, the our main skill comes out. Although we may not be manifesting or connecting to our soul time and again, but when the crisis happens, the first thing that happens is for a atmarthi, for a soul who is a seeker, whatever sadhana he has done so far, that comes in handy at that point of time. And he is able to take shelter in his pure soul. He's not worrying what will happen to my family, what will happen to my assets, what will happen to my money, nothing. Nothing coming in mind. Only one thing. I have to take shelter in my soul. Usually what we do, we chant Namokar mantra, right? Anytime any difficulty happening, we chant Namokar mantra. If somebody is Hindu, he will say Ram, Ram, Ram. If somebody is Muslim, he say Allah, Allah, Allah. But as a seeker, what we do, we connect to our soul, simply, and monks also do same thing. Sometimes the celestial beings, the monk who is meditating in a forest, they pick them up and they take him upwards in the sky and then they throw them in the ocean, right? While coming down, they manifest omniscient knowledge. This is the efforts that a monk makes, because of his practice. He has already renounced everything and he is only doing his sadhana, right? So that is at the monk level. But at our level, we can always navigate the adversities of life by learning to apply these principles. Not only learning the principles, but learning to apply. That is more important, So these exams, that objective exams, there are some tricky questions, They start with a negative thing. What does not belong to Jeev? Now again, the options are true and false. So I was wondering that they are taking the exam of philosophy or they are taking the exams of language, But that's a one way of taking exams because it's an open book exam. So if they want to make the questions challenging, these are the some things. And because we are studying in English, there is a further challenge. In Hindi, what they do, true and false, the last question, what they do is they change just one word. Now this line, so nij bhav sada sukhad. So what they will do, par bhav sada sukhad. They will just change that word. Okay. Now, the English translator, the chat GPT, what it does, it corrects that mistakes sometimes, and I've corrected a few mistakes like that. So this time the time was very less. So, but the next time I will ensure that we get a proper translation. I have told the management that you give me 1 month in advance the paper. I will translate it and I will try to put words which are there in our English scripture in that particular way, because they have translated it anyways, but the words may not be the same. So in putting fill in the blanks, you have to connect little bit to Hindi to understand the real question what they are trying to ask, So luckily, all of us know English, know Hindi a little bit, so we can still manage. But it's really challenging for an English student to answer these objectives when such subtle changes are there in the statements, But anyways, um, it gives us an opportunity to further take our active consciousness to make it more subtle, make it more focus bound, to catch up those silly mistakes, not it's not the mistake, it's the tricks, okay. So this is one challenge. So the question was, where do we develop that strength from? Now you have already understood, and the purpose of our doing this study is also the same, right? So in the first class, every semester, I try to align you with the objective. Unless and until the objective is not clear in our mind, Jia, we will always wander in one thing or the other, and we pick up unimportant things in life because those are not the causes of our happiness. You can never be happy even if you earn 100 crores, 1000 crores. That is not going to bring you happiness. But our monks doesn't have any possession and they are the happiest person. Okay. So happiness comes when we connect to ourselves. So any knowledge that propels us to turn our active consciousness from outside object towards our inherent nature, the pure soul, is what we need to focus on. Okay. So we have to judiciously use our time, manage our commitments, and in between develop our interest, self-interest. Okay. So this is the challenge that you are all taking up. And I'm very proud of you all that you are still managing in spite of our other commitments, which we had already done earlier, This is the new commitment that we are doing it for ourselves. But nevertheless, this is enough what you are doing right now. And gradually, you will sharpen your knowledge. You'll be able to pick up very fast, things very fast as you progress towards the course. Today, we are starting the 4th semester. Okay. So in this particular chapter, Pandit Todarmal ji is showing us miseries of a mundane existence. So these miseries have been explained from 3 angles. One, from the karma's bondage point of view, okay, that we have already done in the past and that are coming into fruition. And because of that, such and such situations are happening in our life, right? Now, there is a rise of uh, pain producing, pain feeling producing karma, asata vedniya karma, right? So what will happen if there is a rise of that karma? You will get some disease, right? You will catch some disease, and because of that, you will suffer, right? So this is first point from the karma's bondage point of view. The second is from embodied modifications. Like we have been born in one sensed, two sensed, three sensed, four sensed. So in each of these categories, there are different kinds of miseries. So one sense misery is different from 5 sensed miseries, right? So that difference will always remain. And he has tried to explain each categories of souls, the miseries that they are undergoing through. Okay. So this is the second bracket. The third is C. Point number C is general characteristics of these miseries. Here, Todarmalji has drawn the conclusion. He has accumulated all the causes and put it in a very precise manner. The third point, general characteristics of these miseries. And by understanding these miseries, we will also be looking at the solutions. Okay. While explaining the karmas, they will also offer solutions while getting into this categories of living beings like one sense, two sense. There also, they will show us the solution. And in the general discussions of characteristics of miseries, there is also a solution coming up. Okay. So in this chapter, we will not raise the problems only, but at the same time, the solutions will also come. Okay. So, Todramalji has given an example of a physician. Okay. As you go to a physician with your disease, what first step does he do? He first diagnoses the disease. Okay. First step is the diagnostic part. The second is he is describing its condition. Okay, so you have pain in your head also? You say yes. Okay, then you also sneeze in between? Yes. So all these are the symptoms. By telling the symptoms, he is convincing you that I am able to catch up your disease, your cause of disease. Okay. So that is his second point. The third is convinces the patient about his disease. So you have got this disease and thereafter creates interest in him for its treatment. Then only you will go for treatment, right? So these 4 steps will be discussed everywhere. Okay. So let's get into the chapter. Jia, we'll begin with you. Hemali, I made you a co-host. You can share the book, page number 63, Mokshamarg Prakashak. And Jia, you have got the book with you, right?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes. Everyone has physical book with them, right?
Oh, I don't have the physical book.
You don't have
I'll
physical.
order it. No, no.
Why? Because the fees that you pay, no, that includes this book, and this is the only book
Okay.
English that they send. Otherwise, they send Hindi books, They don't have
Mm,
English of every version, but this is well available there. So immediately order,
okay.
because we are going to study this up to 10th semester.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll order it.
Yeah. And overseas students, when they come to India, they can pick up these books, all of the students, they do such things. So you should keep these physical books with you so that you can mark, while you are
Mm,
studying, you can mark in that. All the
mm.
soft copies remains only a soft, So you form a good habit. I'll be marking the points here. So that also will help you. Okay. So you start reading.
Yeah. Exposition of miseries of the mundane existence and bliss of liberation. Since the nature of self-soul is always blissful, should I read the Hindi
No.
lines?
That
Okay.
already I explained.
Okay. Since the nature of self-soul is always blissful, thou ought to emit the light of self, which will destroy the existence of different forms of miseries of mundane existence. Many types of miseries are found in this sansar, mundane existence. These are being narrated here. For if there be happiness in sansar also, why should then we make effort for liberation from sansar? Since there are several kinds of miseries in this sansar, so efforts are to be made for liberation. As a physician, by making diagnosis of disease and describing its condition, convinces the patient about his disease and thereafter creates interest in him for its treatment. Similarly, here also by making diagnosis of sansar and describing its conditions, Acharya convinces the mundane being of his sansar disease and creates interest in him for making efforts to get rid of it. For example, the patient is suffering from the disease but does not know its root cause, does not know the right treatment, and also cannot bear the pain. Then, whatever appears to be the right treatment, he takes it. Therefore, the misery does not come to an end. Then, tormentedly being helpless, he bears those pains. When the physician tells him the root cause of pain, tells the nature of the pain, proves all his efforts wrong, and he gets interested in making the right effort. Similarly, the mundane being is suffering from sansar, transmigratory existence, but does not know its root cause, does not know the right means, and also cannot bear the miseries. Then, whatever appears the right effort, he makes it. Therefore, the misery does not come to an end. Then, tormentedly, being helpless, he bears those miseries. He is shown here the root cause of miseries. The nature of the misery is explained, and all his efforts are proved to be wrong. Then he gets interested in making the right effort. For this purpose, this description is being made here.
Hmm.
Root.
Stop. So you mark it out, the third paragraph. I already told you about this. First point is making diagnosis of the disease. You will be able to make it here on screen. I think
no, so I'll make it in the
Soumya knows. Soumya, I'll make you a co-host. So, last time in
Yeah.
Bharat, Soumya did all the marking since so I'll make a co-host too. Yes. So this is the first point. As a physician on page number 63, as a physician, by making the diagnosis of disease is number 1 point. Describing its condition, its second point. Convinces the patient about his disease. This is the third point. And the fourth point is creates interest in him for its treatment. Similarly, making diagnosis of Sansar is number 1. Describing its condition, number 2.
The document is actually locked for editing.
Sir, this is
Uh,
yeah,
Acha.
It's locked. You can try that enable
yes,
editing button on the right.
is it there? Enable edit.
Down. There's that notification down. It's
Uh,
on the
okay,
page.
enable editing, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is
Oh,
locked
okay.
when
It's
you have the
password
password.
protected. It won't work.
Sir, I have other copy that is GPT translated copy. I can share that copy, and in that one I can make the amendments. So
Okay. No problem.
please.
We can repeat this. I'll get you this marking done next time. No problem. You can very well study right now. If it's happening, it's okay. Otherwise,
No,
fine.
sir, it is locked, sir.
It will not happen, no? You are mute.
Sir, sir, it is locked, so I can't
Okay,
make
no
any changes.
problem, no problem. So all these tells us that you should have physical copy with you, right? So similarly, in the next paragraph also, there are these 4 points being repeated in this example also. For example, the patient is suffering from the disease but does not know its root cause, does not know the right treatment, and also cannot bear the pain. Then, whatever appears to be the right treatment, he takes it on his own, right? Here, Chinwani suggests us some solutions, right? So if we go according to the Chinwani, we will be able to solve this disease of transmigration, okay, and get liberated. But if we work on our own, then we might not get the solution, okay? So the misery does not come to an end. Then tormentedly, being helpless, he bears those pains. Okay. And here Acharyadev tells us, you need not suffer from pain. There is a solution available. Just apply it and be happy. When the physicians tell him the root cause of pain, this is first point, tells the nature of the pain, number 2, proves all his efforts wrong, 3, 4, then he gets interested in making the right effort. Similarly, the mundane being is suffering from sansar but does not know its root cause. Okay. Now, this root cause of miseries, this will be discussed from 3 point of view that we are coming on to. He does not know the right means and also cannot bear the miseries, then whatever appears to the right effort, he makes it. Therefore, the misery does not come to an end. Then, tormentedly being helpless, he bears those miseries. He is shown here the root cause of miseries. So, what is the root cause of miseries, Jia?
Transmigration, mundane existence.
That is a result of the, because of that only we are suffering from misery.
Yeah,
So,
like
to eradicate,
bondage, mithyatva.
yeah,
Yeah.
mithyatva, right. So, mithyatva is the cause. Then, what is the solution?
Studying Jinwani and getting the right
So,
thing,
right belief.
right knowledge.
Okay, right belief right knowledge, and right conduct is the solution. This solution is common across all problems. There is no other solution. While getting disease, there are different medicines for different kinds of diseases, right? But here it is so simple. You bring 1 lakh problem, one solution. You bring 1 crore problem, only one solution. Right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Okay. Then, he bears those miseries. He is shown here the root cause of miseries. Then the nature of the miseries is explained, and all his efforts are proved to be wrong. And then he gets interested in making the right efforts. For this purpose, the description is being made here. Root cause of miseries is the next heading. And under that, number A is forms from karma's bondage point of view. So this is the first point, A. Then the B point starts at page number 86. So under this karma's bondage point of view, we will discuss the 8 karmas. Okay. Then this second is miseries from embodied modification point of view. So the miseries of 1 sense, 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, 5 sense, and 5 sense with mind. This will be discussed separately. Then the third point will come, general characteristics of miseries, page number 96. Okay. So these are the 3 topics that is being discussed here in this chapter. And then, of course, the 4th topic would be the solution. Okay. The path of liberation, how to get into the path of liberation. That is also explained here in very brief, but nevertheless, it has been explained here. So this is the heading, bliss of liberation and the means of its attainment. Okay. So we will begin the first topic from karma's bondage point of view. Okay. So, Soumya, you read from karma's bondage point of view.
From karma's bondage point
I
of
said
view.
Soumya.
Okay,
Sir,
Okay.
what is the heading? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Bliss of liberation and
The last one?
yes, sir.
Last one is on page number 96. You can just catch up. Yeah, this one. Bliss of liberation and the means of its attainment. So
Okay.
solution is the bliss of liberation. How do you attain it? Again, right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So the root cause of miseries. Okay. Soumya, you start.
Yes, sir. Root cause of miseries. First point, from karma's bondage point of view. The root cause of all miseries is wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. The misbelief in tattvas, realities, due to rise of darshan moh, faith deluding karma, is wrong faith, mithya darshan. Because of it, the true realization of the nature of substances is not possible. Rather, false realization is caused. And due to the instrumentality, nimitt, of that wrong faith, only whatever knowledge of Shayopsham form exists, it is all perverse knowledge. Owing to that, right knowledge of the nature of substances does not evolve. Rather, contrary knowing is caused. And the passional dispositions caused due to the rise of charitra mohu, that is conduct deluding karma, is asanyam, wrong,
Same.
asanyam, wrong conduct, because of which the jiva does not act in accordance with the nature of the substances, rather acts contrarily. Thus, these false belief, etc., only are the root cause of all miseries. Why is it? So it being explained.
Stop.
Misery caused by
Stop. So these false belief, etc. So they will just write false belief, etc. And you have to add false belief, false knowledge, and false conduct everywhere. Okay. So this is the beginning. The root cause is these 3 causes only: wrong belief, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. Okay. The misbelief in tattvas is due to the rise of darshan monia karma, because we are discussing from the karma's bondage point of view. So each karma would be defined that because of darshan moh, faith deluding karma, this misbelief in fundamental elements exist. Okay. And because of it, the true realization of the nature of substance, okay, is not possible. You are not able to know the self because of this faith deluding karma. And the other part of the monia karma, the conduct deluding karma, charitra monia. And because of that, the passions evolve. Okay. Passion rises. And that is mithya charitra, false conduct. Okay. So because of false belief, false knowledge is there. And because of false knowledge, the conduct is also false. So we need to work at the belief level. Okay. So by studying these principles, your belief system is going to change. From birth, you know yourself to be Jia. Okay. And here the acharyas are giving us your new identity. That no, you are not Jia, you are pure soul. Because this kind of birth and death you have taken infinite times. This is not your permanent identity. And my permanent identity is the eternal soul that I am. Okay. So your identity has changed now. You are a pure soul. So if you are a pure soul, then what is your function, Jia? To go
Just
to
to
the
know,
college, to earn money.
just to know and to see.
So what is your function?
Just to know.
Yes, very good. Just to know and see. Okay. If you remain up to knowing, no problem. You are absolutely safe. You will enjoy. But what we do, we go beyond the knowing. Okay. And make judgments. This is good. This is bad. This has to happen like this. This should be like this. And because of this clutter, we are suffering. Life is so simple. You have to just know. Nothing else. This is your inherent nature. You cannot go beyond. So whatever else we do, that is because of the influence of this monia karma, faith deluding karma. So our belief system has got corrupted. And because of that belief system has got corrupted, the knowledge is also false. The conduct is also false. So what we do, what changes we are going to do is we are going to change the belief system. Okay. So because of this faith deluding karma, the true realization of the nature of substance does not evolve. Okay. So we should focus on solving the first problem, that is to get rid of delusion. Okay. Get rid of delusion and you are always happy. Because of delusion, you are suffering. And if you get rid of this delusion, you will become happy. Okay. The happiness journey will start immediately. And this is quite possible now, right? You may not become a monk in this birth, Jia, because you are a female, right? But this self-realization, that very well we can do it. Even an 8-year-old can do it. Okay. He has the capacity to realize himself. Okay. So it is so simple. Kunkund Acharya, he got initiated into monkhood at what age? Jia? At 11 years. And there was another monk called Jinsen. He got initiated into monkhood at the age of 8. Just imagine becoming a monk, So this is quite possible. Whoever is attained the age of 8, they can realize themselves in this birth right now in these situations. So this is what we are aiming at. We are not aiming at something which is not possible right now. Okay. So if I tell you to do 30 fast, is it possible for you? But people do it. But I will say it's not possible for me. Right. But if I say you realize yourself, you eliminate the delusion, is it possible right now? It is quite possible. Okay. So we are doing what is possible. We are not getting into something which is just an imagination which we cannot realize. We are not into that. Okay. So here, instant money, like, there are some business, retail business, You go for a product, you pay the money and then get the product. Okay. So this is like this, instant happiness. Okay. So now miseries caused by each of the 8 karmas will be discussed. Okay. So the first discussion that is coming up is because of knowledge obscuring karma and perception obscuring karma, what are the situation that is happening in the soul and how do we get the solution? This will be discussed. Okay. So this topic, who will read? Amitaji, you read. Urja, can you read? Urja is
Yes,
our ex-leader. Now he is again joined and he is going to cover up. So you will be able to read, Urja?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you go ahead. We'll begin with you.
I'll start with misery caused by, sir.
Misery caused by Sharapsham
Yeah.
of Jnana Varna and Dashna Varna and release from it.
Yeah, misery caused by Shayokshampam of Jnanavarna and Darshnavarna and released from it. Because of wrong faith, etc., Jiva cannot attain discriminative knowledge of self and non-self. The self is a soul, that's a living substance, and the body is the mass of infinite matter particles, Pudgal. By their union, human, etc., embodied forms are produced. Jiva believes that Paryaya to be self. The nature of soul is knowledge, perception, through it a little through it a little knowing and seeing takes place, and anger, etc., dispositions are evolved owing to karmic bondage, and touch, taste, smell, color, complexion is the nature of the body, which is obvious, and it undergoes various modifications like becoming obese, lean, etc. And changing of touch, he knows all these as his own nature. The functioning of knowledge and perception that takes place through senses and mind. Therefore, he believes that skin, tongue, nose, eyes, ear, and mind are his organs. I know and see through these organs. Because of these beliefs, the feeling of belongingness and affection is found in the senses.
Stop. So you see, because of wrong faith, first line is very important. Because of wrong faith, what is happening is being explained here. Okay. Jiva cannot attain discriminative knowledge. Ved Vigyan. Right? Jiva cannot attain discriminative knowledge of self and non-self. Okay. So there are 2 categories only. Things are very simple. There are 2 categories only, self and non-self. Okay. And because of this wrong faith, we are not able to discriminate between the self and the non-self. So we have to put in efforts here. Okay. The self is a soul. So we are now differentiating between 2 substances. One is soul, the other is the body. Okay. The self is a soul, living substance, and the body is the mass of infinite matter particles, Pudgal Dravya. So that substance itself is different. Okay. So one is soul, the other is body. Okay. 2 different substances. By their union, human. So soul and body together becomes a human life, etc. So human life, then animal life, okay, subhuman life. We call it as subhuman life because it also includes animal and the plant kingdom. Okay. So good word would be subhuman life. Then you become a celestial being. So in celestial being, only one part is a soul, other part is a body. And then hellish being. One part soul, other part body. Okay. So these are the 4 states of existence that we have been transmigrating from one state of existence to another, to another. So this journey is going on, going on, going on from when? From time immemorial. There is no beginning. Soul is there from beginningless time. Karmas are there along with the soul from beginningless time. And because of this wrong belief, the cycle is going on. Okay. So 2 different things coming together and we are thinking that I am human. But if you bifurcate, there is one part is soul, which is ourself, and the other part is body, which is not ourself. This is non-self. Okay, body is non-self. Embodied forms are produced. Okay, so this human life, subhuman life, celestial life, and the hellish life, all these are produced. Jiva believes that paryay, that modification, that embodied form to be self. So because of wrong belief, these things are happening. Okay. The nature of soul is knowledge, perception. Okay. So what happens? Just now I asked you, Jia, that what is your function? Knowledge and perception. To know and see. Perception is general impression, and knowledge, knowing the self and the non-self. Okay. The nature of soul is knowledge, perception, etc. etc. All the infinite qualities. Okay. Though through it a little knowing and seeing takes place, and anger, etc., disposition are evolved owing to karmic bondage. Okay, so all these things are happening in the soul, and soul is identifying himself with these things. Okay, he believes that I am manifesting on anger. Okay, anger is being manifested due to the influence of karma, and he believes that I am only manifesting anger. He becomes a doer. Okay, so we have problems at 4 levels: oneness, mindness, doership, and enjoyership. Okay, ekatva buddhi, mamatva buddhi, kartutva buddhi, and bhoktatva buddhi. These are the 4 pillars of delusion. Okay, and because of these, the wrong belief exists. Now we go on to the attribute part. The nature of soul is knowledge and perception, etc., infinite attributes. Through it, a little knowing and seeing takes place, and anger, etc., disposition are evolved owing to karmic bondage. Okay, so this is regarding the soul. Now, regarding the body, what are the attributes? Touch, taste, smell, color is the nature of the body. These are the characteristics of the body. Okay, which is obvious. Okay, and it undergoes various modification, like becoming obese, lean. Okay, sometimes our weight increases, sometimes it decreases. So all this keeps on changing, and changing of touch, etc. So touch, taste, sometimes you feel the same thing to be tasty, and the next time that same thing, this is today, it is not tasty. So these are all keeps on changing. He knows all these as his own nature. So he's mixing both the functions of the body and the functions of the soul together, and he says, I am experiencing all these. Okay, this is because of the influence of wrong faith. The next paragraph: the functioning of knowledge and perception takes place through sense and mind. Okay, the soul is now in this human body. Right now we are into this human existence. The soul is there inside the body. It is not the outside the body. Okay, it is inside the body, and this the knowledge and perception are the attributes of soul or body? Soul. Okay, body does not have these attributes. Okay, and through this knowledge and this knowledge and perception, the functioning of knowledge and perception takes place through senses, these 5 senses and mind. So we have 5 outlets of senses. Okay, that is skin, touch sense; tongue, taste; nose, smell; eyes, looking at it; and ears, listening. Okay, so these are the 5 senses, and the 6th sense is the mind. R is organs. His organs means body's organs. Okay, so the knowledge and perception are happening through these 5 senses and mind. If you go to a one-sensed being, you will have only touch sense. So your knowing will happen through touch sense only. There are no eyes, no ears, nothing. One sense being is only having touch sense. Two sensed being will have touch and taste. Three sense will have touch, taste, smell. Four sense will have touch, taste, smell, and um, sight. Through eyes he is looking at. Okay, and five sense will have ear also. Okay, listening also. So these are the five senses and the mind. Okay. I know and see through these organs. That is his belief. Okay. Because of this belief, the feeling of belongingness and affection is found in the senses. Because the first problem is that he believes that he is doing all these functions through these senses and mind. And that's why he has feeling of belongingness, oneness with these senses. And he has also got an affection with these senses. Okay. Now we go further. Now what else happens because of this delusion? Further, due to force of delusion, the desire of knowing. So because of delusion, we are now looking at the function of the Jnana karma and Darshana karma. Knowledge obscuring karma and perception obscuring karma we are discussing. So we are discussing only two things, knowledge and perception. Okay. Because of the influence of the wrong belief, the knowledge and perception is happening in a manner which is not appropriate, which is opposite to the true nature. Okay. So this is happening. Okay. Further, now we will read another two paragraphs and then again discuss. Further, due to force. So Amita ji, I could not see you at that point of time. Okay. Now you can read. Further, due to force of moha.
Further, due to force of moha, delusion, the desire of knowing and enjoying the objects through those senses is produced, and on enjoying those objects, he feels satisfied on fulfillment of that desire and feels delighted. Just as a dog masticates the bone, due to that, its own blood starts coming out. By its taste, it believes that this is the taste of the bones. Similarly, this jiva knows the objects due to which his knowledge gets entangled in them. Taking its taste, he believes that this is the taste of the objects, but the taste is not in the objects. He himself created the desire by knowing it himself, believed himself to be happy, but I am an eternal soul characterized by knowledge, sentience, such realization of self being an embodiment of knowledge only is not there. And I saw dance, heard melody, smelled the flowers, tasted and touched the objects, knew the Shastra, scripture. I should know this. Like this, he possesses the realization of knowledge mixed with the objects known. Because of this, the predominance of objects alone is perceived. In this way, owing to nimit of moha, the desire of objects is found to this jiva. He has the desire of knowing and enjoying all the objects of past, present, and future. I should touch all, taste all, smell all, see all, hear all, and know all. So much is the desire, but power is limited to touch, taste, smell, seeing, and hearing only such objects which come into contact with the senses. Out of them, only a few are partly known and enjoyed, and a few are known partly through remembrance by mind, etc. Even this much materializes on meeting several external cause. Hence, the desire never gets fulfilled. Such desire can only be fulfilled on attainment of Keval Gnan, omniscience.
Hmm.
The desire does not get fulfilled through the senses because of the state of kshapsham. So, owing to nimit of more, continuous desire of knowing and enjoying concerned objects through senses persists, due to which, getting perturbed, the jiva is suffering from misery. So much is the misery that even for knowing and enjoying a single object, he is not even afraid of death. As an elephant has vehement desire of embracing the artificial female elephant, the fish of tasting of meat attached with the fisherman's stick, the bee of enjoying the smell of lotus flower, the moth of seeing the color of the lighted lamp, and the deer of hearing the melody of music, due to which, even if instant death be sensed, yet they are not afraid of it. On one hand, death was sure if the objects were enjoyed, and on the other hand, misery of senses was felt to be greater if the objects were not enjoyed. Being afflicted from the agony of these senses, all jivas irrationally plunge into the objects of senses, just as some miserable person jumps from the top of the mountain. Jivas earn wealth by undergoing several types of pains, spend it for obtaining the objects of senses, and for the acquisition of these objects. They knowingly go even to such places where death is sure to occur. They also indulge into the acts of injury, etc., and involved into passions of anger, etc. What can they do?
Stop. Okay, so we'll see these 3 paragraphs first. So because of delusion, such and such things are happening. Very good example of dog. Dog masticates the bone. Masticates means chews. Okay, he chews the bone, and due to that, its own blood starts coming out. Okay, but he believes that this blood has come from the bone. Okay, so he's taking the test of his own blood and considers that to be of the bone. That is because of delusion. Similarly, the jiva knows the object due to which his knowledge gets entangled in them. Okay, so this knowledge of the soul is being passed out through 5 senses and mind. Okay, taking its taste, he believes that this is the taste of objects, but the taste is not in the objects, right? He himself created the desire. By knowing it himself, believed himself to be happy. Okay, so this is the problem of delusion. Because of the force of delusion, such things are happening. Okay, and I am an external soul characterized by knowledge. Such realization of self being an embodiment of knowledge only is not there. So because of delusion, your own nature has been ignored, has been hidden. You are not able to realize that you are a knower. And the objects that you enjoy, you believe that happiness is coming from those objects. Just as the dog believes that the taste is coming from the bone, similarly is the mundane soul who is getting into 5 sensory objects, sensual pleasures, and he believes that happiness is coming from there. But actually, the attribute of happiness lies in the soul only. And it is only the quality of soul only that happiness can be manifested in the soul only. Okay. So because of delusion, we believe that these 5 senses are going to bring happiness. And because of that, we are indulging day and night to earn money. And with that money, we will buy the expensive things. And with buying those expensive things, we will be happy. So this cycle is going on under the influence of delusion. Okay. And I saw dance, heard melody. So all the 5 sense objects. Okay. He has the desire of knowing and enjoying all the objects of the past, present, and future. But his present capacity is how much? Whatever objects comes in his touch, that only he can know. Now I am knowing this, I'm just looking at the screen on the laptop. So I cannot know what is happening behind me. This is the limitation of my eyes, right? So whatever objects come in touch with that senses, out of them only a few are partly known, okay, and enjoyed, and a few are known partly through remembrance by mind. So the memory that is developed in the mind, and through memory also we know many things. Once a time I went to this place and I enjoyed this food. It's excellent, amazing food. So where you are not eating right now, but because of memory, you are able to connect to that things. Okay. Even this much materialize on meeting several external causes. So these 5 sensory pleasures and the remembrance through mind, all these happens on meeting several external causes. Now you want to eat food, so you should have the food in front of you, no? So that food, if its food is not there, what you will do? You are still hungry, but food is not there. So how you will eat? So it depends on the external conditions. So this fulfillment of sensual desire is again dependent on several external causes. Okay. Hence, the desire never gets fulfilled. Okay. Such desire can only be fulfilled on attainment of omniscience. Because, because of this Jnanavaran and Dashnavaran, there is a desire to know all things. Okay. And that will only happen when you develop omniscience knowledge. At that point of time, you are knowing everything, you know. But now you don't have omniscience knowledge. So whatever limited knowledge you have, that here is called Sayapsham. Okay. Sayapsham is the knowledge that you have right now in possession, that is called Sayapsham. This is because some karmas are not in the rise, some karma has been subdued. Okay. So, what it is called subsidence. Okay. So subsidence of some karma has been done. So you are able to know certain things. Okay. The desire does not get fulfilled through the senses because of the state of Sayapsham. Because of the limited opening that you have got in terms of knowledge, you are knowing through senses little bit. Okay. But your desire is to know everything. And that is not possible because your senses is knowing only certain objects, because your opening is only limited. Rest of the Jnanavaran karma is there. So it has been covered. You have the full potential. But because of the rise of Jnanavaran karma, your opening of the knowledge attribute is very little bit. Through that little opening only you are knowing through 5 senses. Okay. And the mind. So this is what is happening now. So owing to nimit of moha, continuous desire of knowing and enjoying concerned object through senses persist, due to which getting perturbed. Perturbed means getting restless, getting anxiety. Okay. So perturbed is akulta. In Hindi, we call it as akulta. And this akulta is the characteristics of sorrow. Okay. So whenever you feel sad, you will experience this anxiety, perturbedness, commotion, okay, restlessness. All these are the characteristics of sorrow. Okay. The jiva is suffering from misery. So this is the characteristics. Perturbedness is the characteristics of misery. Okay. And what is the characteristics of the soul? Eternal bliss. Eternal bliss has got no perturbedness. All these sensual pleasures, they come along with perturbedness. So on the one hand, you are enjoying it, but you are enjoying it along with akulta. And when you will enjoy the eternal bliss of the pure soul, there is no akulta, no perturbedness. It is nirakulta. Okay. So these are the difference between the eternal bliss and the sensual bliss. Okay. Sensual bliss comes along with perturbedness, and the eternal bliss comes without perturbedness. It is nirakul. So there is a change. There is a difference between the taste. Sensual pleasure and the eternal pleasure are not the same. Okay. Just mark this distinction. These sensual pleasures are coming along with perturbedness, and the eternal pleasure is without perturbedness. So this is only the difference that you will have to realize. So much is the misery that even for knowing and enjoying a single object, he is not afraid of death. The sensual pleasure, the obsession for sensual pleasure is so high because of delusion that even the death, because at the cost of death, he still wants to enjoy. Now, 5 examples have been given of five senses. First of the elephant. Elephant has vehement desire of embracing the artificial female elephant, So what these hunters do, they dug up a big dugout, okay? And on that they fill up the grass. And he keeps an artificial female elephant before that, okay? So looking at that female elephant, the male elephant comes running in, and because he wants to touch that female elephant, okay? And because of that, he falls into that dugout and he is captured. So death is inevitable. Still he goes along there. And the next example is of the fish of tasting meat attached with the fisherman's stick. So fisherman is has taken a stick, and that he has attached a mass of meat, and the fish is attracted to that meat. And while eating the meat, the fisherman picks up that stick and puts it in a cage, the net, and that fish is caught. Okay, so this is what happening. So the third example is of smell. The bee of enjoying the smell of lotus flower, and in the evening that flower closes and that bee gets killed inside that flower. The moth of seeing the color of lighted lamp, okay, and he gets burned with that lamp. Deer of hearing the melody of music, due to which even if instant death be sensed, yet they are not afraid of it. So what the hunter does, he plays the music, the melody, okay, and deer gets engaged in that, listening to that song, that melody, and he is being captured. So at the cost of death, okay, very interesting line coming up. You can just see it. On one hand, death was sure if the objects were enjoyed. Okay, so that bee kept enjoying the smell of the lotus flower, and it closed and he got killed. And on the other hand, misery of senses was felt to be greater if the objects were not enjoyed. And he chose the enjoying the object. He chose that even at the cost of death. Why this is happening? Because of delusion. Okay, this is the effect of delusion. Being afflicted from the agony of these senses, all jivas irrationally, without any thinking, plunge into the objects of senses, just as some miserable person jumps from the top of the mountain, okay, and commits a suicide, because the attraction to that sensual pleasure is so much. You see the drug addicts, they get killed, but they are not able to leave the drug or the alcohol they get addicted to. Jivas earn wealth by undergoing several types of pains, spend it for obtaining the objects of senses, and for the acquisition of those objects, they knowingly go even to such places where death is sure to occur. They also indulge into the acts of violence. Here it is written injury, but a better word would be violence. You can correct. Violence, etc. All the five sins. Okay. And involve into passions of anger and manifest passions of anger, etc. Okay. All these are the causes of hell, etc. Okay. So he is just transmigrating, just for the sake of that false happiness. It is not the real happiness. Okay. These sensual pleasures are not the real pleasures. Okay. These pleasures have got very limitations that we are going to discuss going ahead. So now what can they do? Okay. This is the question. So next. 3 paragraphs we are going to cover. Okay. What can they do? Pratibhaji, you read.
What can they do?
Hmm.
The pang of the senses become unbearable, hence no other idea comes to their mind. The Indras, celestial beings, etc., are also afflicted from the pang. They too are found very much engrossed in the objects of the senses, just as a person afflicted from eczema rubs the affected part engrossly. If there be no pain, why would he rub? Similarly, the celestial being, etc., afflicted from the sensual disease, indulge engrossly in the object of senses. If there be no pain, why would they indulge in sensual object? Such is the sensual knowledge produced by Shayapsham and Gyanavarna, Darshanavarna karmas. It acts as a cause of misery owing to nimit, association of mithya darshan, wrong belief, etc., in association with desire. Now, the means that this jiva adopts for getting rid of miseries is being explained with the understanding that my desire will be fulfilled by enjoying the object through senses. He firstly strengthens the sense by taking different types of meals, etc., and knows thus only that if the senses are strong, he will have more power of enjoying the objects. Moreover, various external causes are required there. He tries to acquire them. Further, the senses enjoy the objects on coming in contact with them. Hence, he tries to bring about the contact of the objects with the senses through different external resources. Thus, for the sake of gathering together different types of garments, food, flowers, temple ornaments, etc., and songs, musical instruments, etc., he undergoes severe stress and strain. Further, so long as the object remains in contact with the senses, till then somewhat knowledge of that object continues. Later on, only its remembrance in the mind remains. By the lapse of time, the remembrance also fades out. So he makes effort to keep those objects under his control and frequently indulges in them, and the senses can enjoy only one object in one time, but he wants to enjoy many objects and rushes towards the other objects and leaves it, also rushes towards the other objects, thus behaves ravenously. In this way, whatever means comes to his mind, he adopts them. Okay.
So these are the up to this only. The answer we are discussing now. What are the means that a false believer adopts? Okay. So there are 5 steps given here. So before that, let's discuss this first paragraph. What can they do? Okay. So the person who is under the influence of delusion, and because of that, his knowledge and perceptions, whatever he has got with limited knowledge and perception, but he wants to know all. So there is a problem with that fellow. So the obsession of the sensual pleasure is so much that even the death, they want to enjoy those objects at the cost of their death. Okay. The pang of the senses. The pang means the pain. The pain of the senses becomes unbearable. Hence, no other idea comes to their mind. Okay. So when a person is under the influence of some, drugs or alcohol, nothing comes to his mind. Not a good idea comes to his mind. He commits crime and whatnot. And then he keeps on suffering from those punishments. The Indras, celestial beings, etc., are also afflicted from this pang. So this pang, this pain of sensual pleasure is so much that even the Indras and Chakravartis also, they also indulge in such activities. Even they are right believer, you know, even they are right believer and they are going to get liberated very soon. Still, they are not able to resist this enjoyment of sensual pleasures because of delusion. Under the influence of delusion, the they are also afflicted from this kind of pain. They too are found very much engrossed in the object of the senses. Just as a person afflicted from eczema, rubs the affected part engrossedly. If there be no pain, why would he rub? Similarly, the celestial beings, etc., afflicted from the sensual disease, indulge engrossly in the object of senses. If there be no pain, why would they indulge in sensual objects? Okay. Such is the sensual knowledge produced by Sayapsham of Jnanavarana Darshnavaran. It acts as a cause of misery owing to nimit of mithya darshan, wrong belief in association with desire. Okay. Now, what are the means that a false believer adopts? So there are 5 points. You just note it down. Okay. The first paragraph, firstly, strengthens the senses by taking different types of meals. This is the first means that a false believer adopts. First means. Second, various external causes. The last line. That is the second point. Next paragraph is third point. The next paragraph is fourth point, and in between, and the senses can enjoy one object at a time. That is the fifth point. So 5 points we are going to discuss. Again, coming back to that same paragraph. Now the means that this jiva adopts for getting rid of miseries is being explained. With the understanding that my desire will be fulfilled by enjoying the object through senses, he, first point, firstly strengthen the senses by taking different types of meals, and knows thus only that if the senses are strong, he will have more power of enjoying the objects. Some persons do take medicines also to strengthen that senses. Like if you are not able to see by constantly seeing the TV, your eyes, you get a pain in your eyes. So you take up a specs, you take a specs and then see the TV. If you are not able to listen to the music, you get the hearing aids, or you do you take some medicines to strengthen your ear. So all these remedies, a soul under the influence of delusion takes to increase his sensual strength. Moreover, various external causes are required. He tries to acquire them, these medicines and all external causes. Third point, further the senses enjoy the objects on coming in contact with them. Okay. Hence, he tries to bring about the contact of the objects with the senses through different external resources. Okay. So you book a ticket on Book My Show to go to see Arijit Singh, music concert. People spend so much of money. Even they travel so much of distance to attend that concert. So he tries to get all these external resources. Thus, for the sake of gathering together different types of garments, foods, flower, temple ornaments, etc., and songs, musical instruments, etc., he undergoes severe stress and strain. This is the third point. Fourth point. Further, so long as the object remain in contact with the senses, till then, somewhat knowledge of that object continues. Later on, only its remembrance in the mind remains. I once upon a time, I went to a concert of Arijit Singh. You'll remember this for the rest of life. And I spent 20,000 for the ticket. Such was the obsession. So all these activities a person undergoes. Further, so long as the object remains in contact with the senses, till then somewhat knowledge of that object continues. Later on, only its remembrance in the mind remains. By the lapse of time, the remembrance also fades out. So he makes effort to keep those objects under his control and frequently indulgence in them. There is never a satisfaction in sensual pleasures. And the senses can enjoy only one object in one time. This is the fifth point. But he wants to enjoy many objects and rushes towards the other objects and leaves it also, rushes towards the other object, thus behaves ravenously. Ravenously means wants a lot of something. So he keeps on exploring different objects of pleasures. Okay, but his satisfaction is not there. Okay, he never gets satisfaction, and that's why he keeps on changing the objects of sensual pleasures. Okay, so these are the 5 problems that a false believer adopts to satisfy his needs. Now, why the solution adopted are false? All these 5 points, why these are false, that explanation begins now. So there are 6 points in total, and I'll be reading it and marking it simultaneously. So we say one time. In this way, whatever means come to his mind, he adopts them, but all those means are false. Why? 6 points. First, because firstly, availability of the desired objects is not under one's control. It is extremely difficult. Okay, so this is the first point. Because you want some sensual pleasure, but at the same time, you need to have the rise of meritorious karma, auspicious karma, then only you will get. Okay, I want to have a Mercedes-Benz car, but I need to have the money, right? Affordability is an issue. So it is not under our control. It is extremely difficult. Second point, and if by chance, according to the rise of karmas, the auspicious karmas, the desired situation is also met, with then, by strengthening the senses of power of enjoying the objects does not increase. Okay, you have got the object, you have got the desire, but the senses, the power of enjoying the object does not increase. That power increases only by increasing the power of knowledge and perception. But this depends on the sayapsham of karmas, right? Someone whose body is strong, he is seen possessing such a power in a less measure. All the body seems to be very strong, but the power is very less. Someone whose body is lean and thin, he is found possessing such power in greater measure. Okay, this is the second point, end of second point. Third point, therefore, by strengthening the senses through the meals, etc., nothing is accomplished. Okay, nothing is accomplished. By decrease in passions and on getting shayopsham of karma, if the power of knowledge and perception increases, then accordingly the power of enjoying the object increases. Okay. So strengthening the power of senses through meals is not the solution. Further, fourth point, he tries to gather the sensual objects, but it either does not remain associated for a long time or mostly the company of all the desired objects is never met with. Because again, there are a lot of factors, external factors. It is dependent on that, right? You have to have the rise of auspicious karma. And if the auspicious karma is also there, but the other person is not willing to give you the object, then also you will not get. So antrai karma is there, you will not get the object. So there are a lot of factors. So this anxiety continues. What anxiety? Anxiety to get those sensual objects. And by keeping those objects under his control, he very frequently indulges in them, but they do not remain under his control. Those separate substances change independently on their own or depend on the rise of karmas. Such bondage of karmas takes place on the evolution of suitable, auspicious disposition, pious thoughts, good deeds, and later on they come to rise. They come to rise state which is clearly seen. Even on making several efforts without the nimitt of karmas, the external objects are not met with. This is the end of the point number 5. Now the last point, number 6. Further, leaving one object, he indulges in another object. Okay? Thus behaves ravenously. What can be achieved from it? As a voracious person requiring a quintal food, as a hungry person requiring a quintal food, gets a particle of food, can his hunger be quenched? Never. Similarly, can the desire of the one who is desirous of obtaining all the objects be satisfied by obtaining only one object? No. Happiness is not possible without the end of desire. Hence, this effort is false. Okay. So, two problems we have got. One is one sensual object he wants, he gets it, then the desire to get another object rises. Now, when he gets that object, another desire crops up. So the desires are not satisfied. That is the first point. And the second point, the total object available in the universe is just a 1% of what the desire is. He has desire to get so many things, but he gets only something as per his meritorious karmas. Okay. If the meritorious karmas are not there, he doesn't get it. So these are the reasons. Happiness is not possible without the end of desire. Hence, this effort of getting the sensual object is false. Question. Dodermalji has this habit of raising the question on its own and answering. And the analysis that Todermalji has done, you could analyze that how sharp was his mind. So he could analyze so many problems, and the explanation that has been given is just simply unbelievable. We can apply these objects, we can learn from this kind of uh, logics that he has given, and we can apply it in other spheres of our research. Okay, so we will be able to have a very rational conclusion to all our queries. Okay, this is the way we should analyze. So now the question has been raised. Many jivas are seen becoming happy by adopting such means. How do you say it to be totally false? Okay. So we see across that many people are rich and we believe them to be happy. But no, they are not happy. They have other problems that we may not know. We know that Elon Musk is very happy because he is having so much of wealth. But you go and ask Elon Musk, he has many other problems. His health is not good. His spouse is not faithful. He has some other affairs. He wants to be number one, right? So he wants to get things done. So desires keeps on cropping up, It is not that you acquire certain level of wealth and then you stop it. It does not happen that way. The desire keeps on cropping up. Answer. The jivas do not become happy, but fallaciously consider themselves to be happy. Just now I gave you an example of Elon Musk. Yeah. If they have become happy, how will there remain the desire for other objects? So one desire fulfilled, but then there is another desire. As on getting the disease cured, why would one like to take other medicine? Similarly, on end of misery, why one would like to have other objects? Therefore, if by enjoying the object, the desire ends, then we may treat it to be happiness. But so long as the particular object is not enjoyed, till then its desire persists. And the moment that object is enjoyed, at the same moment, the desire of enjoying some other object is seen, developing. How can this be treated as happiness? For example, some voracious poor person got a particle of food and feels happiness by eating it. Similarly, the great greedy person gets one desired object and he feels happy to obtain it. But in real sense, there is no happiness. So even if you have the desire for sensual objects, even if you get it, the happiness does not manifest, because simultaneously you have desire for other objects. Why the contentment is not there, because there is no happiness in those objects. Okay. And here, if you connect to the soul, you get content. You get content. Why? Because there is a happiness over there. So your purpose is being solved here in the soul when you are connecting to the soul. But the sensual objects, the purpose is not getting solved. Even on the contrary, at some times the desire increases. So if you have one rasgulla, you will have desire to get another. Okay. Suppose your rasgulla is a famous sweet dish for Jia. So you have one, you will have to have more. Now you get the second one. Still you won't like to have more. So this is quite common. We have all experienced, right? Now another question coming up. What is wrong if one satisfies his desire by enjoying the objects one after the other, similar to the person who satisfies his hunger by eating the corn bit by bit? Answer: this may be accepted provided those corn bits get accumulated. But when the next bit is eaten, by then the earlier bit gets driven out. Okay, it has already been it has already gone to the stomach. Okay, but how will then the appetite be quenched? Okay, this is a question. Similarly, if in the knowing process the knowledge of objects gets accumulated, okay, the object gets accumulated, then the desire may get fulfilled, consummated. But when he starts knowing the next object, by then the knowledge of the object known earlier vanishes. How will then the desire get fulfilled? Okay. Without consummation of desire, the commotion does not end. Okay. The perturbedness does not end. The restlessness does not end. And without end of commotion, how can it be called happiness? So happiness is such a state where you don't want further. It's such a state. But that does not happen with the sensual pleasures. Why? Because there is no attribute of happiness in them. The attribute of happiness is in the soul. So if you connect to the soul, you will realize the happiness. But these sensual pleasures, they don't have the attribute of happiness in them. So whatever you consume, you will never get satisfied. On the contrary, as the people get rich, they want more money, more money, more money. So that is the what? Now, Further, the enjoyment even one object takes place under the influence of wrong faith, etc. So wrong faith, wrong knowledge, wrong conduct. Therefore, the bondage of karmas being the cause of forthcoming many miseries takes place. Okay. So enjoying even one object takes place. The bondage of karma still goes on. Hence, in the present moment also, it is not happiness, nor it is the cause of happiness in future. So it is assuredly misery. The same is stated in Pravachan Sar as below. So this is Gatha number, verse number 76 of Pravachan Sar. What it says, Sapparam Bada Sayyam Vichidam Bandhakaranam Visamam Jam Indiham Laddam Tam Sokham Dukkhameva Taha. What is the meaning of this Sanskrit slok? It's written in Prakrit by Kunkund Acharya Dev. And the commentary on this is given by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. What it says, happiness derived through sense organ, 5 conditions are given, is dependent. Number 1, happiness through sense organs or the happiness through sensual objects is dependent. Number 1, it's dependent on the object. It is dependent on the rise of karmas. Number 2, amenable to disturbances. Okay, it is vulnerable to disturbances. There could be interruption. Okay, supposing you are watching a TV, a very favorite serial of yours, Jia, and suddenly the electricity goes away. What will happen? Okay, so you cannot ensure that there will be a continuous flow of those sensual pleasures. Okay, so sense organs is dependent. Number 1, amenable, inclined to disturbances. Number 3, terminable, it could come to an end. Okay, supposing you are watching Netflix and your recharge has exhausted, so it is terminable. So the message will come, your daily consumption limit is over. It comes sometimes. It comes to everyone. Number 4, cause of bondage. This sensual pleasures that you are experiencing, it is a cause of new karmic bondage. 4th point. Okay. 5th point, it is fluctuating, right? Sometimes you get what you desire, sometimes you get less, sometimes you never not get at all. So all these sensual pleasures have these 5 limitation. Number 1, dependent. Number 2, amenable to disturbances. Number 3, terminable. Number 4, cause of bondage. Number 5, fluctuating. Hence, the conclusion, it is assuredly misery in disguise. It is not true happiness. This is what Todarmalji wants to explain. In this way, the efforts made by this mundane being should be known as false. Okay, it is false. Now the question is, what is the right effort then? Okay, so the solution is coming. When the desire comes to an end, so when the desire will come to an end? Any answers? When this desire will come to an end, which stage of spiritual development?
14th stage.
12th stage.
After
12th stage. Okay. So the desires ends at the end of 10th and 12th first moment, you are completely passionless. Vitrakta. Okay. So Vitrakta is the stage where the desire completely ends. Okay. So when the desire comes to an end and the enjoyment of all object continues simultaneously, then this misery ends. But the desires comes to end only when more perishes. That is in the 12th stage. Okay. Charitra more perishes in the 12th stage and there the desire ends. And simultaneous enjoyment of all the object is possible only on attainment of omniscience. So that is the 13th stage. The means of these is the attainment of Samyak Darshan, right belief, right knowledge, right conduct, and the same should be known as the right means. So what is the right effort then? The right effort will be to manifest right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Okay. In this way, the Shayapsham of Jnanavaran and Darshana also becomes cause of misery owing to Nimit, instrumental cause of delusion. Okay. Because of delusion, whatever opening of knowledge and perception you have got, that becomes a cause of sorrow. Okay. That becomes a cause of misery because you want to know more. Because of delusion, you have got a certain level of knowledge. Now, if you apply that knowledge in your soul, you will immediately get satisfaction. But because of delusion, you are not using that level of knowledge that you have already got in this birth. You are using it in to get sensual pleasures, right? And there is no happiness over there. So you never get satisfied. Okay. So the solution will come from by manifesting right belief. The first level of the wrong belief will go, and along with wrong belief, the first quadruplet of passions will also go. Right? Anantanubandhi Kashai will go. Mithyatva and Anantanubandhi Kashai will go when you have the right belief. Okay? Question. Knowing of the object does not materialize owing to rise of Jnanavaran, Darshanavaran karma. Hence, regard them to be the cause of misery. Why do you say the Sayapsham as to be the cause of misery? Okay. Knowing does not materialize owing to the rise of Jnanavaran and Darshanavaran. Knowledge obscuring karma, perception obscuring karmas. Hence, regard them to be the cause of misery. Why do you say the Sayapsham as to be the cause of misery? Answer. If not knowing be the cause of misery, then the Pudgal matter should also suffer from misery. But the root cause of misery is the desire, and the desire is evolved owing to the Sayapsham only. Okay. So, with Sayapsham, the opening that we have got of the knowledge, we want to know more. Because of we want to know more, that's why that Sayapsham, under the influence of delusion, this misery is caused. Therefore, Sayapsham is said to be the cause of misery. At one level, it says that Sayapsham is the cause of misery. But in reality, at the second stage, Sayapsham is also not the cause of misery. The desire of sensual objects which evolved due to delusion. Okay? That desire alone is known to be the cause of misery. Okay? So the main cause is the delusion, the wrong belief. That is the main cause. Okay? Now we will discuss misery caused by rise of monia karma and release from it. Okay? Very interesting topic because this is what we want to get rid of in the first place. Right? This is our, all the other karmas. Who is the king of karma? All the 8 karmas, who is the king?
Monia.
Monia karma. Good. And this monia karma has got 2 divisions. One is faith deluding karma, conduct deluding karma. So faith deluding karma is because of which the delusion persists. So we have to get rid of these first. So misery is caused by rise of monia karma and release from it. Okay. So in this, first we will discuss the darshan monia karma, faith deluding karma. Okay. And then we will move on to the charitra monia karma, conduct deluding karma. Okay.
सर आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन
Yes.
ये बाकी जो है अपने कर्मास अदर देन अमोनिया उससे भी बंद होता है क्या? आया है ये इसमें अपने लेसन में?
So
व्हाट इज
without
कितना?
so monia hai na, if the monia is there, then
हाँ,
along with monia, those karma are destructible. But without monia, they
हाँ,
individually those karmas cannot cause sorrow or misery.
नहीं बॉन्डेज का सर, आई वांट टू नो
Ah,
अबाउट बॉन्डेज.
bondage ka. With monia, they are a cause of bondage. But without monia, their effect is nothing. I'll give you an example of Aryant Bhagwan.
जी.
Okay? Aryant Bhagwan has got 4 non-obscuring karma remaining.
अगाथी, यस.
Okay?
हाँ.
But
हाँ.
they are not the cause of sorrow or bondage. Okay?
ओके,
So,
गॉट इट.
so with monia, they are a cause of bondage. But without monia, they are not able to do anything. Okay?
अच्छा, यस सर. तो सिंस जो करते हैं अपन,
हाँ.
वो उसका भी तो बॉन्डेज होता ही होगा ना, नहीं सर?
हाँ, होता है ना, because of monia karma. Okay?
उसी के कारण.
So now,
ओके.
so in the 4th stage of spiritual development, you have manifested right belief. Okay?
जी.
And
जी.
along with the right belief, the first quadruplet of passions has gone. अनंतानुबंधी कषाय भी चली गई. तो
जी.
उतना बंद नहीं है. But whatever remaining, the 3 levels of passions are still remaining. So that much bondage is there. So from the 4th stage to the 12th stage, mixed sentiments will go on. There will be some purity and there will be some impurity simultaneously. The purity will keep on increasing, impurity will keep on decreasing. And when you achieve the 12th stage, complete impurity will be wiped out and complete purity will be manifested. So from the 4th to the 12th, this journey is a mixed bag. There is some purity and there is some impurity simultaneously. But before 4th, there is no purity. Okay? So the journey begins with right belief. Okay? And to get right belief, we have to get rid of faith deluding karma. Okay? So this is explained by 5 points. You mark the points. Our time is over. We will take it up in the next class, but still you mark the points. We have 2-3 minutes left over. The first point begins with the firstly, owing to the rise of darshan moh is the first point. It's a very elaborate explanation of the first point itself, and it goes on up to page number 71, middle portion. Further, he does not make effort. That is the second point. Further, he does not make effort. That is the second point. Third point, next paragraph. Further, if by chance, that is the third point. Next paragraph. Further, if by chance, the nimit of true deity. Okay? This is the fourth point. Then the fifth point is moreover. Okay? The moreover point is the most important point, and the bold letters are more important. I would like you connect with all these 5 points because these 5 points are very important from the perspective to start our spiritual journey, to get into the path of liberation. These 5 points are very, very important. So I would like you to read these 5 points not 1 time, 2 times, but 3 times. Okay? Put in all your energy, effort, time into understanding these 5 points, and we will discuss in the next class. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. So we will close for the day. Your third objective paper is also out yesterday. So you could simply open the book and start answering. It's very easy. So most of you have completed 2 papers. If not completed, keep on attempting those objectives. And you have no time limits now. Unlimited time you have got. People completes in 2 days, something today, something tomorrow, you know. So if you don't submit it, it remains open. Okay. And that will be reflected on your browser also. The first one. Okay. So you can have options, many options. So you start attempting objectives. Okay. Anything else? Today is the last day for our CC3 assignment. So those who have submitted, fine. Those who have not submitted, if you are not submitting by the end of day, please inform me. Okay. And when you will finish that also, you inform me. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है. 9 times नमोकार मंत्र.